got that picture, and I got the sense that, okay, they're clearly working this up into something much bigger. But again, because I was there, I saw what I saw. And because I know who I am and what I did and what I didn't do, I know I didn't do anything unlawful. I know I had no criminal intent. I know I was scheduled and invited to be present, and I was doing my job in my official capacity, and that's the only thing I did. I had a rock solid alibi, regardless of what anyone else may have intended to do or otherwise. I knew I was completely innocent. So I had no intention of saying or proceeding otherwise. But we did have advice like, you should probably get out of D.C. We just stuck to our travel schedule. We were there another couple days and then back to Florida for other speaking events and then back to Los Angeles. So 12 days later, January 18th, the irony is not lost that it was Martin Luther King Day. And on a Monday morning on MLK Day, in a quiet 2-bedroom apartment in Beverly Hills, where we had a headquarters for the organization at that time, we were on a conference call with several colleagues, and our lives were forever shattered by blood-curdling, screaming yells so loud that my head literally vibrated, as did the walls. We could barely register the shock and wonder, are we under attack by criminals, when our door was pulverized by a battering ram, literally, and flooded into our apartment, 20 armed officers in black tactical gear and machine guns and red laser sights bobbing on your chest, like a Jason Bourne action movie. It was terrorizing. It was abhorrent now that I think about it. Even in the moment, shortly after the shock wears off, I realized this is the U.S. government assaulting peaceful citizens in a major city in the U.S. as if we were terrorists. This is backwards. This is so wrong. And, I've only since then been able to contemplate and really measure the impact of that trauma, not just on myself, but hundreds and hundreds of J6 Americans have had this assault.
So did they call you at all and say, hey, you could come in for an interview? Hey, here's this wanted poster. We know where you are. You know where we are. Can we just talk? There was no communication. And did you think about reaching out and saying, hey, I'm on your wanted, FBI most wanted poster? I mean, should I come in?
Dr. Gold actually had the Washington Post reach out a few days before our arrest and say, would you do an interview? And she wanted to be forthcoming about what happened. So she said, well, sure, why not? And yeah, I was there. I was invited to be there. I gave my speech. That's what happened. I did nothing wrong. So I don't really have anything else to say about that. And that was days before. But no, the FBI, the U.S. government, did not advise us or request a meeting or say, come turn yourselves in or anything. They just broke our door down on a Monday morning and clearly intended to terrorize us, demoralize us, silence us, and really send a chilling message throughout the community and throughout the country that the U.S. government is in charge.
Yeah, and we'll get into this later. I think they were trying to send the message that it's not necessarily even the outcome. It's the whole process that we'll put you through that should scare you and everybody else. So what was the process like? They pick you up, they take you to jail, you get an attorney. What are you charged with? What do they say?
Man, so your point is exactly right, Glenn. The process is the punishment, and they plan to punish you, at every juncture, at every possible nook and cranny of the bureaucratic machinery. They will weaponize it. And that goes down to the last detail. Like, for example, first of all, I explained the raid and the assault, which was just egregious. People can die from those misused tools of violence. And I was disappeared for 4 days without a phone call. That's so outrageous. Dr. Gold had to hire a private investigator to find out what had happened to me and to force the government to allow the bond process to happen to bail me out of jail. They should have bailed me out within hours, obviously, but they chose not to for whatever excuses they love to pull because they can do whatever they want. They're the government. I vanished. No family member, no lawyer, no one knew where I was for 4 days until we pressed the issue there. Then when I get out, then I'm given a public defender and arraigned and explained, this is what we're charging you with. And it was, I could hardly understand what they were even saying. Obstruction of an official proceeding.
Wait. When you got in there, you have a right to a phone call. Did they deny you your right to a phone call?
Yeah. The first, so they dragged me into a jail, processed me, threw me in a concrete cell, ignored me until the next day, didn't answer a single question or give me a chance to talk about anything, dragged me into a car, drove me across town to another jail, then processed me in this little like 2 foot by 2 foot room with a screen, COVID rules, so that I could see the magistrate, who then said whatever he said. I was so disoriented I could hardly understand. He said, "I'm not letting you bail out." Then I got dragged away into an isolation unit in the MDC, that's the FBI's federal facility in Los Angeles. Banging on the door, "Can I have a phone call?" Banging on the door, "Can I have a phone call?" for 3 straight days. No help, no response, no phone call, no nothing. 4 days later, "Strand, pack up your crap, get out of here." And they dumped me on the street. And then, thank God, I found where the public defender's office was, walked there and said, "Could you please help me? I have nothing to my name." And then someone found me and picked me up off the street 4 days later.